Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart, and I'd like to welcome you to this special Fiesta Days program. Every city parade or event typically recognizes some dignitary, a celebrity, or residents that have a long standing in the community, people that have made an impact. And we are happy to have two such people with us today. Let me introduce to you our honorary Grand Marshals for Fiesta Days 2019, Richard and Annalee Johnson.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So, you know, you get the phone call and they say, we would love for you to be the Grand Marshals of Fiesta Days and the parade this year. How do you feel about that?
I think we looked at each other and wanted to know what Stacy wanted.
Oh, that darn Stacy, right?
I know. And he's worked with Stacy before, so we didn't have a clue what was going on.
You really had no idea of what was going. So to this point, have you had to do anything, or have they asked you to do anything, or basically what will your duties entail?
We're still waiting to hear on that.
Okay.
They said they would give us a schedule of the activities and the things that we were expected to come to, and I think they were bringing that by this evening later, they said. But
Okay.
I think we were just informed to attend most of the activities that we were available.
That's really awesome.
Yes.
Well, certainly this calls a lot to the type of folks that you are when you're chosen to be Grand Marshals or spokespeople, I guess, for a special event for that year. So what are some of the things that you've done in your backgrounds, do you think, that have led to this point? I know that you talked a little bit about some history with the rodeo in maybe the 70s and how that maybe started.
I just remember as a young boy going to the rodeo with my family. Every year it was a highlight to attend the rodeo back in the 40s and 50s. When I returned and started raising my family here, I got involved in the riding club, became the president, and for a number of years as a director, and that we would get down and repair the chutes and the fences as a club and burn the weeds and paint the bleachers, and we'd get the rodeo grounds ready for the 24th. And then as I became president, we actually had the responsibility of going to Denver over to the national rodeo they had over there, and we'd sign up the specialty acts and the contract with the producer, and we were the group that was financially responsible for the rodeo during those years. And then later on, the city came in and the riding club became a little less involved in that aspect and still helps with it. But back in the early days, it was strictly the Spanish Fork, Diamond Fork Riding Club that took care of that.
Well, it's no small feat, as you've mentioned, because there is so much work involved, and it has evolved over the years and grown into this spectacular, now 5-day event. So there's so many places that folks can participate. But you have also served as a county commissioner. Yes. And you participated in American Legion. But we want to also know more about the Freedom Walks.
The Freedom Walk has been a real surprise to Annalee and I both, because we just kind of were dreaming along one day, riding our bikes up the river trail. And I said, it'd be kind of cool if the school kids could come up here and we'd have a veteran sitting on the bench and they could sit and visit and learn a little bit about patriotism and what the freedoms of this country are all about. And so then we'd think about it, and the next day I'd say, it'd be even cooler if we could kind of have them in some colored T-shirts and get them a dog tag with the name of a veteran on it. And so as we kept talking about it over breakfast there for a few weeks, I finally decided I had to go see the superintendent and run it past him and see what they'd think about it. And so I talked to my daughter and asked what age group, she's a school teacher, would be the best group to target, because we knew we couldn't do it for all of them. And so she suggested the 5th grade, because they'd finished their American studies and history lessons. And we thought, in the spring of the year they're going on field trips, this would be one where they could come on a field trip and sit and have their lunch and have a learning experience. So the superintendent was very supportive and decided we ought to meet with the elementary principals and their supervisor and kind of have a little roundtable discussion of what we needed. And in discussing that, it became very much a group effort, and through it all it evolved to what it is today. But it was decided we couldn't do the walk up the trail very safely with that many kids not having restrooms and access to the trail in all areas, and so we decided to do it around the sports complex and have tables set up with a veteran from each of the branches of service. And it's just been kind of a joint venture of the Chamber of Commerce has been very supportive, the city, the school district, and of course American Legion. And each year, the first year the weather was terrible and it snowed.
It was.
Oh dear.
We thought, boy, this isn't going to work. But the kids, they still loved it. The school district, everybody was supportive. Said, let's keep that going. And so we made a few changes as to how we did the Wall of Honor and one thing and another. And now it's just a matter of everybody gets in and does their part of the job, and it goes very smoothly. And I think it's something that we'll be proud to say we were involved in getting it started.
Absolutely, yes. I think that will
hope it keeps going.
That will continue for a long time, I'm sure. And we talked about it just a little bit earlier before we started filming, and he said that you were the sounding board.
I was the sounding board.
But I believe you were much more than that. I'm sure that you're very, very heavily
I was just
involved
looking
as well.
at him like, how is this going to take place? And the more he talked about it, it just sounded like a good idea, because I think we've lost our patriotic, feeling of the flag and of those that have served our country and lost their lives in some cases. And so the more he talked about it, the more it sounded like a great event for the kids. I think he forgot to mention some of the businesses that have contributed to the Freedom Walk and donating food for the veterans and those participating, not the students, they bring their lunch, but he's had great support from
individual
businesses, yes, and individuals, like you said, helped us financially, and so it's just become a great project. I'm proud of him for coming up with it.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Well, proud of both of you. No wonder you were chosen to be at the forefront of things this year. So what about for you? Do you have any special Fiesta Days memories?
I don't as an early childhood memories, because I grew up in Springville.
Okay.
I'm actually a Red Devil by heart. But then in 71, cut that off. And then in 71, I moved to Spanish Fork. And it has just become home to me. And I see, during the Fiesta Days, it's more of a family gathering. It's a family reunion. You reacquaint yourself with old friends, family members, and it's just a fun event for everyone.
And I have to say, I think it feels that way, especially during this season, during the 24th season, and as you mentioned, people planning kind of family events surrounding that, and their reunions, and going to the rodeo together, going to the parade together. But really, in this community, I think it feels like that all the time. I mean, there is just such a sense of community and involvement and wanting to give back and doing those things, which you have. So I applaud you, and I think that is so amazing, and just so happy to have you involved with Fiesta Days this year.
The volunteers and the time and effort they put in to making this such a successful event, that they love their community and want it to be successful, and all the support they get from everyone involved.
Right. Oh, well, thank you so much both for being here, and thank you for giving back, and we'll be looking for you at whatever events they assign you, and of course we'll be watching out for you in the Grand Parade. But thank you so much for all you've given back, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Well,
Look for you
it's our
soon.
pleasure.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Well, we invite you to get out and celebrate the good times at Fiesta Days. There is something for everyone. Thanks for watching.